Hey everyone, it's Ed from Stencil1. How are you? I apologize for being late. We always say 2 p.m. live. And I had a car alarm going off outside. I'm in Brooklyn, so it's pretty noisy at times. So if you hear noise, also had a little Wi-Fi connection stuff. Anyway, happy Labor Day. It's Labor Day. I hope you're relaxing and have Monday off. I want to go over some fun stuff that we did last week, and then we'll get into some new projects. So you can see the Halloween banner I created behind us here, and I'll move the camera closer in a minute. But that was a fun project, and all we did was cut out those shapes with normal craft paper, colorful paper. What do they call it? Construction paper, and then stenciled the owl, the skulls, Frankenstein. So if you want to have a monster mash, you see that whole banner there, and I think that'll be fun strung up over. I think I'll serve drinks on this table here and have this over it. But I have a lot of other projects for you as well. I want to give you a few announcements before I get into some projects. Do you guys shop on Zulily? Apparently you can save a lot of money by shopping there, and we've just started. We're going to have our first sale starting tomorrow, and it'll last for just a few days, but you'll be able to get our stencils and our Halloween stencils that normally we have 20% off sale right now, but I think these prices are even going to beat that. So that's zulily.com, and you sign up, and then you could be a part of the saving. So that's big. And in addition to these live videos that I did a video, a class with craftsy.com, so you can look up Get Started Stenciling, and we'll have a link on our website where you can get really detailed, a really detailed class on how to stencil every surface, glass, concrete, walls, paper. So I do general projects here online now, but that's a really detailed class, and they had a really pro film crew on it, so you'll see the videos are really pretty. So I'll post about that as well. And if you're watching this on Facebook, because we also post it to YouTube, we always put links in the bottom of this post that shows you links to some of the items we used in the post. So you'll see the sugar skull stencil that I did some Day of the Dead stuff with that we'll go over. Yeah, so we try to put it right there for you so you don't have to dig to find things. So let's see. Yeah, the projects I'm going to go over this time are, I'm going to show you how to paint on tin, like a tin that cookies come in, or that you could put other treats in there, a cake, any sweets. And I did a Day of the Dead stencil on top of that tin, and I think it goes well with that holiday because that's about celebrating those who have passed, celebrating their lives, and providing sweets to them and to the family to celebrate their life. So you could read more about Day of the Dead online, but it is its own holiday. It's not Halloween, it's different, but everyone's combining these two, but it is a different holiday. So I think it's cool to read about that and educate yourself on that and honor those who have passed in that way. So I'm going to show you cool projects with that and some other Halloween projects, and we're going to paint on fabric, tin, and some more paper. I like paper, so I will show you that stuff. I'm going to flip around the camera and get set up over here. And then next week I'll probably show you how to paint on glass, which I love. So this was done with glass. Mason jar, my poison today. Okay, let me flip around. Well, you could follow me. And then, okay, so last week, here's some stuff we did last week. We did these gift tags. We did cards or invites for Halloween. We did these bags that have you could put candy in, or you could put a candle in as a lantern bag. And here's a better view of the banner for your Halloween party. Here's the bat, one of my favorite designs. We also had a free download of this stencil that you could cut out yourself. It says Cheers Witches, and a free printable where you can relabel a bottle of wine with witch's brew, and I designed that little witch's hat. So you could print that out and stick it on a bottle for a party. And then what we're going to do today, I'll start, this was the Day of the Dead cookie tin or dessert tin, and I got this at a store in New York called Jam Paper. They sell a lot of paper products, but I'm sure you could get this at craft stores as well, or stores that sell things for food and storage, probably the Container Store, which I love. I'm going to mount the camera, so excuse me. This way I can free up my hands to paint. So you're seeing the stencils I used for this cookie tin. I put the steps on Facebook Stencil1 site so you can see how I did this step by step, but I will still show you painting tin, which I love this. And then I didn't have specific marigold stencils, but I have a floral stencil that you'll see on our website, and I painted it in this marigold color because that's kind of the tradition with Day of the Dead, is to leave marigolds at the graves as well. So what I did was I used this 2-layer stencil we have. So I placed this on the tin first and filled it in all in white, so it's the silhouette of the skull. And then this is the second layer. I lined that up and placed it on here, and it's all about the tools, I always say. So I used very small stencil brushes. These are tiny. And then I even got these more affordable, let's get this in camera. These are so tiny, but you'll see that I just painted in those little details using these little brushes. So I really took my time and sat there and put on my glasses to look at all that detail. Some people have asked me if I, like something about my lighting in the studio, and I do use Ot light, which I'll show you in my next tutorial because I have this magnifying glass that I paint under as well. Anyway, I got this other tin, and I figured if I have this on the table, then I can have this on the table as well at the Halloween or Day of the Dead party. With this, I could put candy in here, or I could put flowers in here. So I'm going to show you how to paint tin. And what I did was this stencil we sell in a 6-pack of stencils, and this Jolly Roger stencil has been in my collection for years. And anyway, I used this spray adhesive, low-tack spray adhesive, repositionable, and I put that on the back of the stencil, and then I placed the stencil around the curved surface, and I pressed down all these details to get that to really, I want to paint and still see this crack in the skull and all these little details. And then I taped it in place as well so it won't pop off there. So I have this acrylic paint here. It's green. I thought that would be vibrant and fun. And just bear with me while I get in camera here. Okay. So I often say stenciling is a dry brush technique, so you take a lot of the paint off the brush. So much off. And I even go over here first, like how much paint do I have going on. And I also paint in the large areas first, because I have the most paint on here now, so I could paint these in. And this is, you could build this up in layers, so if it doesn't cover fully, just get your first layer on there with this like tapping motion, and once that dries, it'll give you a nice textured surface to add another layer onto it. So I'm just filling it in. And I would say stenciling is definitely takes patience, because you just don't want to rush it. You want it to come out nice and clean. And sit down, take your time with it, and enjoy it. So now I can go in here to the more detail of the face. And you'll see it's not covering fully at all. So it's going to take 2 to 3 layers to really have that covered look. And I guess you could put loot in here and do like a pirate theme. I've seen that a lot with our stencils. And we have other designs that fit into that theme as well. So you could search our site for that stuff. Like we have anchors and octopus, and you could just go off on that theme as well. So I'm filling this in. Now this has to dry, so let's let it dry. And I'm going to move on to something else, and then I'll come back and fill this in. But I hope you're getting the idea that I'm going slow, I'm going in a tapping motion, I'm not using a lot of paint, and I'm going to let this dry and then build up onto it so that when I'm done, I have a much more solid look. Like these flowers, I used some orange paint and then some yellow paint, and I built that up. It's probably 3 layers. And it's very textured. I purposely did that because they're flowers, so I wanted it to look kind of like marigolds look. So let me show you these. I'll bring them into camera here. These are these great bags that I also got at that paper store, but I'm sure they sell these at Michael's and other craft stores. Now, we have a lot of pattern stencils. This is a hexagon, chevron, I call this Moroccan petals, and this harlequin or diamond pattern. So you'll see I used these already to make these bags pop, and I thought these would look really cool on a table as a gift on a dinner setting. Like you put something in here for your guests and put this in the middle of the plate, and it looks really modern. I like it. So some people interpret Halloween a little more in a fancy decorative way, and I think patterns used in black and orange definitely can get that across. So you could put, you could put dessert in here, you could put a little gift for your guests in here, but I thought these were really nice. So how did I do it? So these bags are very easy to paint because they're nice and textured, and I'll show you. So here's the hexagon pattern. I want all those details to come out nicely, so I use this spray adhesive. I'm going to do this off camera. Basically, I sprayed this side of it, and then I'm going to place it down on the bag. I'm just letting it get a little dry, and then move it closer. There you go. So I'm going to make sure that all these little pieces of plastic, well, it's mylar technically, are adhering to the bag. And then this is fabric paint I have here. I'm going to show you how I did this. So again, you don't want a lot of paint. Like this is way too much paint, like blob. So take it off here, and trying to not get in the camera's way here. Okay, so you can go up and down like this, I can switch to a larger brush because I want it to go a little faster. So I have a big brush here. But again, see, you can see all the bristles. Make sure the paint is nice and dry. Not much paint on there. And then here, you just, that stencil's not going anywhere because it's adhered to the bag. And you're just filling this all in. And it goes pretty fast. You can do an up and down motion or a sort of a swirling motion. Sorry about the shadow there. But basically I'm, let's see, filling it all in. And I think if each setting had a different pattern, that would look great. Now, a lot of our artists use these stencils for their mixed media work. I know I've seen a lot of people gravitating towards hexagons and diamonds, and I don't know what patterns you like to use most, but I like a hexagon. I don't know why I'm so drawn to them, but I really do love them. So just want to get this filled in enough to show you. Now I could go over it again, or I could just peel it off, and that's what I'll do to show you today. So there you have this very cute hexagon bag, and it goes with these nicely. I mean, it'd be fun if your guests were like, "Oh, which pattern did you get?" And everyone got something special. I think it's a nice way to set off your party. It's like, you know, who doesn't like a gift that's customized for them? So that is the bags. We'll do a full step-by-step how-to on our website as well, stencil1.com. On our blog, we embed the videos and do step-by-step imagery. So these are the bags. I love this project. And these were very affordable. So you could probably find these at any craft store. All right. What else do I have for you? Okay, paper. More paper projects. I did this. How cute is this? It's one of my favorite designs is our owl. And you could see, can you see that shimmer? I used, we have had these spray inks out for several years now, and these are the metallics. This one is copper, and this is handmade paper that I got at an art supply store, which I think makes a nice print. You can make cards with it, all sorts of things you could apply to this. So how did I do this? I shook see the inks, they want to gather in the bottom, especially the metallic. So you shake it up, there's a little ball in there that like helps you mix that ink. And then I basically just sprayed, and see that's copper. I think I used gold here, and this is the copper. So looks dark on film, but see, look at that. Okay, love that. These dry very fast, which is very nice. These are also suitable for fabric. You'll have to heat seal it with an iron, but they are a multi-surface spray, which some sprays out there aren't. So I'm glad that we developed these to be for all sorts of projects. So you can make shirts with this, you can make cloth textile projects with it, etc. Now, the way I got the owl on there is, you can see this is still has the black ink from last time. I placed it where I wanted it. We'll just do 2 owls. And this crafter's ink I have, I use stencil brushes, or you could use, I've showed on other videos, you can use cosmetic sponges, which work really well. But you could just pick up a bunch of ink with the brush and the ink pad, and that's great because you can't overload. And then holding your stencil in place, you could tape it with some tape that doesn't hurt paper. Again, I just filled in just my light a little, maybe that helps. A little less shadow. I'm just filling in the whole areas. You could go up and down again to make sure it's getting in every detail. Now we have a few owls on our site. So there's a spookier owl, and this I call the barn owl. I think he's very sweet with his little sweet eyes. So I hope you like him. Her, whoever it is. And what's nice is I think it's filled in already. It goes pretty fast. There you are. And that, I mean, that copper behind it looks just so great. I'm trying to get that shine on. There you go. Very cute. So gold, copper. Now you can make cards with this, whatever your purpose is, or just an artist print. So that is that paper project, and I want to show you. I'm big on Halloween and costumes. I like to dress up, but some people don't. So for that person in your life who doesn't really like to dress up for Halloween, I have a nice idea for them. You just can make them, or they can make themselves, a stenciled shirt. So with a Halloween theme. So they go to a Halloween party, they can still be festive, but not be like decked out, I guess you'd say. So I thought it would be cute to just put this little 6-inch ghost on the chest of a shirt, and I'll put that on the block next. Okay, so I put a piece of cardboard inside of the shirt for a nice flat surface, and again, two things. Well, first I'm going to put some spray adhesive on the back. It won't affect your shirt. And then you let it get a little tacky. And when you're thinking placement, if you want something over a certain area on your shirt, I recommend wearing the shirt and making a little tape, putting tape where you thought it should fall, and then putting the shirt in the cardboard and then starting. Also, if the design is really close to the edge of the stencil, you could put some tape, so when you're painting here, you don't go over the edge and then you paint outside of the design area. I'm going to do it again down below here. So, using some fabric paint, I have, I'm going to stir this black paint up. It's off camera, but trust me, it's just black fabric paint. And this is the most simple design I could think of to show you to start, and then as my videos progress, we can get into more detail on 2-layer t-shirts and using other types of paints and stuff. So again, I put very, very little paint on the brush, and you just can go in an up and down motion. With that spray ink, the stencil isn't going to move around, so it's just right where it wants to be. But again, I think if you're wearing a fluorescent orange shirt with a ghost on it at a Halloween party, I think it's almost more of a conversation piece than a costume. Very simple. So this could be for that person who doesn't want to wear the costume. I'm just filling it all in nice and solid. I mean, this is a really illustrative design. Like, it's the ghost's lines are so simple. I think making it look really filled in and solid would be cool. Okay, I think it's all filled in, and I also always make sure my hands don't have paint on them. See, they do, so I just don't want to, I just worked on that, I don't want to ruin it, so I'm careful to not get paint on the shirt after I just did all that work. I mean, how cute is that? Look at that. So, if I do say, I love this ghost. So I think this would be just awesome at a party. I do want to go back. I'm going to back up in a minute and show you the shirt when we flip the camera around again. But that's the 101 on doing t-shirts. And hello. So it's pretty easy, and then we'll get into like ombre effects and multi-layers on shirts. You could really make a whole bunch of shirts, and it's a great way to revamp something in your closet too. You pick out an old shirt you don't wear anymore, and then you could add a design to it, and then it becomes a new shirt. So I'll take this out of the cardboard and show you that in a little while. And just to fill this in again. Now, so that's dry in there, and I can there we go. Go back in and add another layer. Now, what's cool also is if you make your own Halloween decor, no one else will have exactly that piece. So it is a great way to have a very unique item at your party or in your house for Halloween or Day of the Dead or any holiday really. So you can say, I made that, and it's really nice to have one-of-a-kind item. It's kind of luxurious, and you could say you made it. So it's pretty filled in. And you could always be using a hair dryer or heat dryer in between to speed up the drying time. But I think this is well done. So you just carefully take this off, and then you have this bucket with the Jolly Roger poison symbol on it. I think it's pretty cool. And that can go on the table with your Day of the Dead, or not. Different uses, or all together. So that's what we made today. This is how our stencils come all in packaging. Oops. And instructions on the back on ways to stencil shirts, walls, other things. So, and we of course have a lot of tutorials on our blog. I should flip this. Okay, hello again. Thank you for watching this one. Happy Labor Day. I hope you liked all these projects. Let me, here's the, back it up a little more. There's the shirt. What else? Yeah, I think you please post questions, and remember we're having a Halloween sale if you're watching this live. The code is HALLOW20 on our website at checkout. And yeah, if you have any questions about the materials we used or any other things, I don't mind. Hit me up. And yes, next Monday I'll see you, and we're going to do some glass projects, and I want to do mixed media. So I'm going to show you some shadow boxes I did, and I have a lot of opinions about mixed media. So I want to go over the current trends and then like the history of some mixed media artists that I really love. So I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching this one. Happy Labor Day. Have a good day.